All right, thank you for staying with DayBreak. Let's start that conversation now. Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag DayBreak. We're calling it State of the Nation because we're talking about several issues at a time. Now, there's the war of words that has ensued in the executive that is also cascading to their lieutenants on both sides, and the blame game continues with Kenyans left in the middle. And then there's the issue of the running mate as well. It's on the front page of all the Daily Nation and the Standard as well. But first, let's set the tone for this conversation. This is what the president said that kick-started this entire roller coaster. Listen.
Na badala ya viongozi kuwa wanaketi kusema tutasuluhisha namna gani, jameni, tutasaidiana namna gani, wengine wanaenda huko kuinsight wananchi. Angalia hii bei imepanda, uliza Uhuru. Yani mimi Uhuru niko Ukraine, mimi ninafanya nini huko? Jameni. Mimi COVID nilikuwa huko kulea kutoa mimi. Uko wapi? Badala ya kunisaidia kuondoa hiyo shida, wewe uko kwa soko kusema ulizeni ule. Basi si ungewacha uniwachie mimi nitafute mtu ambaye angenisaidia jameni. Wewe unajua hii shida sio ya mtu. Hii ni shida ya uko wapi wakati mimi nakuhitaji? Na ndio mimi nashukuru huyo mzee. Huyo mzee at least hata kama alikuwa na mambo yake alikuja kunisaidia.
And right after that, the deputy president responded to his boss through a tweet. This is the tweet that he put up. Let me bring that up for you so that you see what the response was. Swift rejoinder from the deputy president saying, "Sorry, my boss. I feel your pain. Those you assigned my responsibilities and Project Mzee have let you down miserably. They bungled our big four, killed our party, and wasted your second term. Wow, ni bure kabisa. Boss, I'm available. Just a phone call away." Sadly, the last cabinet was 2 years ago. Then he signed it off as Yule number 2. All right? Joshua, who is fooling who here? They seem not to be reading from the same script.
I think there is no fooling. This is a culmination of the reality that has been for the past 3 years. I don't think we've had the first Jubilee government of 2013 to 2017. From the time of handshake, I think there was a complete breakdown. It was just a question of small screen, whereby we could see some level of management of public relations and all that. But as a matter of fact, I think in the second term, Jubilee has not been the Jubilee that was in the first term. Yeah. So what is happening right now is that we are now engaged in bare knuckle politics because we are 3 months away from the general election. And I think the president is basically suffering from the lame duck aspect because he is certain he's exiting. The deputy president, in this case Dr. William Samoei Ruto, being on the pole position and being a formidable presidential candidate, also has that clout. So where you have a case of a complete equilibrium of power between the two. And in this case, what is happening now is what has been happening for the past 2 years. The difference was, in the last 2-3 years, there used to be shadow boxing, whereby there wasn't that direct engagement between the two, whereby it will be their allies or their side or their sidekicks who would answer each other. But this is the time where there's a clear confirmation of rupture of relations. And that thing, I think, the beneficiary of this in a way is the deputy president, because he's making a case to the public and making the public see that I've not been in government. Yes, I'm the deputy president, but I've never been given more or less a chance in the second term to be able to execute my mandate. Yeah. And in this case, gets a better, clear platform to campaign and say, this is my agenda, so that he does not have to be saddled with the issue of incumbency in the second term.
All right. Wamatangi, the president is essentially telling his deputy that he abandoned him. Yeah. In fact, the question is, uko wapi wakati na kuhitaji? Is that a fair statement?
You know, there are a few things, Trevor, but allow me first to say good morning to our viewers. Yeah. It's been a whole week, and good to be here again. Hopefully and believably that we're able to engage in a discussion that's useful to the nation, and that balances the tempo and temperament of our people, the national psyche, influence positively what our nation should look like, and especially at this time when you're facing elections. I think it is always important that, because this is a political discussion most of the time, as we look at what's happening in our political arena and other areas, that we remind our viewers that I think as a people, and with the privilege and advantage you have of coming here every morning, Trevor, to get our mind expressed and our opinions known by Kenyans. It should be a positive influence, so that by and large we must have a country that we can all live together in. Having said that, Trevor, I think that there are things you can't either change, neither influence by what you say or do now, in as far as the Jubilee story is concerned up to now. But facts can change, and there are facts that we should put right. Number one is that the Jubilee dream, the Jubilee manifesto, the plan to transform this country, as was incepted in the year 2013 when we took oath of office, as contained in our manifesto, that roadmap, that journey could have only been walked and implemented, and the work completed by those that started it. That you cannot change. And no matter what either the president says, no matter what the reply is, that fact remains, that it is only the two as they were, because they sat down, there was a team, they planned, and those are the only people who could have effectively, finally delivered that dream to Kenyans. Number two is that, Trevor, it is very, very difficult, and this by experience, I can affirm, to bring in political people with political aspirations and thought into a plan, for example, like that, where Jubilee had its first intended manifesto as to how to transform the country and show the country how the country would look like in its administration. It is very difficult to bring in people or admit partners with political aspirations and then divorce them from their political agenda, no matter how good the intention is. And so you find that, for example, that when in Jubilee we ushered in, with all the good intentions and goodwill, if that is so, admitted the side of Azimio as it is now into the Jubilee agenda, politics had to take part or had to occupy space within that arrangement. And because there is no way you can say that there is a man called Raila Odinga, the farmer, or the father, without also remembering that he's a politician with political ambitions, and everybody else. And so when, for example, they came into the arrangement that's Jubilee, and their life, everything is about politics. Politics had to take root in that arrangement. And for the whole of all that goodwill that was there, what messed up was the politics that came into it. Because finally, and this we must say, because the truth will always set people free. It never dies. You can change it. At the end of the day, you can see now what we have today. It has culminated into Azimio now partnering with Jubilee and farming, or rather Raila Odinga and ODM partnering with Jubilee to form Azimio, and that then you cannot reasonably argue to Kenyans that it was not part of the deal. Because finally, at the end of the day, what was said then by, and remember that time myself, I was in Jubilee. I joined UDA later, as a transition to what I think and I believe that I would be able to do for my people in the future. But remember, even as that time, for those that were in UDA before me, they raised this issue quite severally, that because of politics, that this deal one can't work, because these guys have come into Jubilee, and we are saying that we want them to partner with us so that we can bring peace. That is okay on the peace deal. But if that peace deal is concocted together with another political agenda, then it will not work as it is. And I believe at the end of the day, that's what we are reaping today. And that must be and is indeed the genesis of what you find that the current issue, as the president was putting it, is.